What's good, everybody? Uh, Thank y'all for taking y'all time out to watch this video. Um, Episode 1, Real Meds Podcast. Thank y'all for having y'all. Um, so this first episode, right, is a social experiment. So basically, I was just out in public asking people, you know, this question. And truth be told, I don't really remember what inspired me to ask this question. I really don't remember what inspired me to ask this exact question. But I just know I was thinking of it. Now I just like, you know what? Let me just ask people and see what their opinion is. So, the question is, if you could choose a mentor, right? Anybody in the world to mentor you. The person could be dead or alive, right? Who would you go with? Free of charge, from January to December. Who would you go with? Who would you go with? So, matter of fact, for the people that's watching this video, y'all like this video, subscribe, comment, share it with your people. You know, let's start a conversation, and let me know. Let me see who y'all rock with, who inspire y'all, who y'all would get mentored by. Y'all stay tuned. We have 10 people, right? I probably did more than 10, but social experiment. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who people will want to get mentored.
Who would you pick?
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I love him. He's started from the bottom, now he's there.
You picked
And
Dwayne Wade.
Well, yeah, like he started off like having his father as like a huge wrestler influence.
Right.
His father was like the first black person like to be a wrestler.
Right. I
And
never knew
then,
that.
Yeah. And then he ended up being homeless. He only had like $7 to his name. And then he had an opportunity to just like work out, go to the gym, and someone in like WrestleMania spotted him, gave him an opportunity. And now he's like one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world.
Right.
He has his own clothing line, his own sports drink line.
Right.
He is a mentor to so many different people. Like he has different businesses. He's a great actor. Like he's amazing.
She know the whole Dwayne Wade story.
I love him. I love Dwayne Wade.
That's good. That's good. I haven't lived.
I hope you see this.
Right. Yeah, Dwayne Wade. I hope you see this one right here for real. For real. But who would you pick?
Oh, Oprah.
Oprah.
I always have loved Oprah. Yeah.
Really?
I used to, well, I'm a housewife, so I watched her every day, Oprah. She's like a woman of wisdom. Yeah.
Oprah. I hope you see this, Oprah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope you see this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you don't see her every day anymore.
Right.
Yeah, Oprah.
Okay.
That woman could do no wrong in my book.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I
love
mean,
Oprah that much?
Oh, I love Oprah. Yeah. Hello,
Okay.
Oprah. Yeah. No, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there was nothing that she said that was wrong.
Right.
I mean, no, like, oops, she kind of messed up. No.
Right.
I mean, it was all like, wow. Wow.
That's a good answer.
Wow.
I'm glad that Oprah inspired you that much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That woman,
good.
yeah. She could be president, Oprah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
And that was a quick answer, wasn't
Yes,
it?
ma'am,
I didn't
it
even
was.
have to think of that
You
one.
didn't.
No. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're a sweetie.
Okay.
That's a real good question. I have, I promise you, my daughter's in the background singing it, but I was listening to my pastor, Pastor West, Church Without Walls. That's my
Without
church.
Walls.
And he's taught me a lot.
Right down the street.
Queenston
And what's that?
and Little York.
Okay.
Because I've been there for 20 years, and man, he done fed my soul, so man,
Fed your soul, huh?
he done fed my soul. Great.
So for you would get mentored in the spiritual area.
Yes, I would.
That's a beautiful answer.
You know, the mayor goes to my church as well.
The mayor?
The mayor, Sylvester Turner.
Really?
He's a member at my church. Yeah,
That's what's up.
and it's good.
That's what's up. Okay.
That's a good question. I would probably say my grandma, and she's already passed.
Why would you pick your grandma?
I would pick her because I got to know her when I was smaller.
Right.
Obviously, she's an older person, so she
Right.
lived life longer than us.
Right.
She had 8 children, me and her got along real well. But I remember when I was small, when she would take care of us, she would always give us advice, you know, the mistakes that she'd made before, and same as our parents, you know, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But I think there was just a more personal bond with her. I was her favorite, you know, granddaughter or whatnot.
Really? How you know you her favorite?
She told me.
She told you that?
She told me, and I was the baby, you know, so she preferred me more.
Right.
Just loved on me more.
Okay.
And she passed away, and I didn't get a chance to say bye to her.
Right.
So that kind of, you know, that kind of has a little trauma on me because I didn't say bye. But I still remember, you know, when she would wake up early and cook, you know, for the family, or just tell me the little things that kind of impacted my life now.
Right. That's good. That's a good answer. That's beautiful. You said it really beautiful. You said something I want to touch bases on. You said that she gave y'all some advice, right? Hey, don't do this, don't do that. Can you remember some of that advice that she gave you, and if so, does it still apply to your life right now?
It does. Some of the advice, you know, just would be like, hey, you know, as a woman, you have to learn how to, you know, work on your own, depend on yourself. Don't depend on anyone to take care of you.
Right.
And we're from El Salvador. So, you know, we're Hispanic culture. Most of the Hispanic culture is a woman. They start working early at an early age, you know,
Why
whether it's
is that?
selling. That's just the way we're raised. The way we're raised, yeah, and it's just from generation to generation. You know, either making tortillas, selling bread, finding something to do to take care of the family. So that's kind of stuck with us, you know, it's generation to generation. But she would tell us, you know, things that would happen to her in her past, and then the things that she saw her children would do. So she would kind of be like, hey, let's break trauma now, or break a cycle. You know, if I did it, you know, your mom or dad did it, you don't do it. So that's kind of what stuck now. It's like, you know, and tell my children the same thing.
Tell your kids the same thing. That's good. Did you tell your kids the same thing? Well, not tell them the same thing, but are you gonna instill that same concept in your kids as far as like work early? How they?
Yes, and I do, because I got pregnant when I was 15, so I had my first daughter at 15. My second daughter, I had her at 16. And I did struggle. You know, my parents would tell me the same, hey, you know, finish school, get your education, and then if you want to have kids, then that's on you when you're an adult. Obviously, I didn't listen, and I made a mistake. And, you know, I had my children. But I think just having them kind of helped me and opened my eyes to say, this is not what I want. Just because I had kids at an early age doesn't mean that I'm a failure. So, you know, I'm going to go to college. I did go to college. I graduated. So now my daughters, they're older. They're 20 and 19. And now they saw that, you know, the struggles of me with them. So they're like, we don't want to be like that. And I'm glad that they overcame that. They're old. They don't have children. They're in school. They're in college. They're working. So they saw my struggles, and they're like, we don't want to be like mom, you know? So I think it's important for them to see that and to know, hey, parents are not perfect. They're going to make mistakes, and we don't want to be going in that same path that mom did.
Ma'am.
So, yeah.
That's a beautiful answer. I didn't know that one question would make us elaborate so deep as you did, but I appreciate your answer and how you spoke on it, because I'm pretty sure it's probably some people that is in that same situation that could grow from it, you know, and learn from your experience. So I appreciate you opening up about it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, you know something? I'd probably say A.R. Bernard.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. He's a pastor up in New Jersey.
In New Jersey?
Yeah, he has a large following, TV and everything, but
why would you choose
very, very wise person. Very wise, even more so than just religious. He's just very wise in how to navigate life. And I mean, business-wise, religious. I mean, and he covers the gamut as far as all religions. He knows something about all of them. And he
What? I don't mean to cut you off. What religion is he tied to?
He's non-denominational.
Non-denominational.
Yeah.
Is that like a Joel Osteen type of church?
No, it's much heavier than Joel Osteen.
Okay.
Yeah. He gets into meat and potatoes type stuff.
Okay.
Not just the feel good.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really it. Thank you for your time so much, my man.
Hey, anytime,
Yes,
my brother.
sir. You go with it.
I'm gonna say Malcolm X.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Why him?
Because he lived a life where it was a troublesome youth, but more so from like a mental standpoint, it was confusing. Like being like the son of a pastor.
Right.
Mom was fair-skinned, mixed, growing up in an area, you know, of course during the time during racism, but growing up in a school where it was like predominantly white, he was the only brother. So psychologically, you know, he's hearing his father preach about, you know, civil rights and things of that nature, but what he's seeing at school is kind of relatable because my dad being from Birmingham, Alabama, you know, talked to us about the strength of, you know, being a black man or indigenous man, as my friends joke with me all the time. But having to go to school with, for myself, having to go to school with like, you know, white kids and being in like the advanced classes and being the only brother in that class, psychologically you got pride in your own self, but it's kind of hard when you look around and you see everybody else, nobody looks like you in your own classroom. And so it's like a psychological thing when you start talking about things, you want to give your opinion on things, but you can't. But to further that, talking about Malcolm is that after all that, like from a mental standpoint, you know, he went through some things, you know, did some things he didn't, that weren't right, you know, according to the laws, got arrested, went to jail, changed his life around, and then, you know, became like, you know, the man that he was supposed to be. And, you know, with him enduring the things that he endured, you know, within the Nation of Islam, trying to break away, trying to
getting deep.
Yeah.
You going deep with it.
Oh yeah, they call me Young Malcolm sometimes. But like, you know, just even breaking away from the Nation of Islam, seeing that certain things that he was taught, realizing that, okay, maybe I was taught this kind of hatred, taking from what I learned as a kid, experiencing stuff for myself, then joining the Nation of Islam, seeing certain things in there that he felt personally was not of the same teachings that he was taught, then going to Mecca, seeing things different, trying to come back and start his whole thing. It's almost like, for me, it's kind of like that transition. I've had, like, I hated white people growing up to a certain extent. Then as I got older, because being a young black man, being prideful, like I said, my dad's from Birmingham, Alabama, so I've heard a lot of stories, I've seen a lot of things, so that anger and resentment, as we say, you know, it's generational curses, you know, you want to break it, but that was passed down. Not in a sense where he told me to hate them, but in a sense where sometimes you're in a classroom or if you're in an environment where you feel like the teachers don't understand you. Or the kids in there don't understand you. So when you say certain things, it's like, oh, you're just being crazy. You're just acting out. No, I'm not acting crazy. I'm acting out. You just don't understand me. So it was that notion of, okay, nobody understands me, so F y'all. I'm just going to hang out with people that look like me. Then realizing over time, as my parents would teach me, sometimes there are certain white people that will help you out more than certain black people. And when I started experiencing that as I got older, I started realizing like, okay, you know, they ain't all bad. Some of them can help you. Kind of like what Malcolm saw when he went to Mecca. It's like, you know, they ain't all bad. You know, there's some good ones there. So maybe I need to change my mindset. We need to change how things work. So.
Okay, I didn't know that question was going to get you to elaborate as deep as you just did.
Yeah.
But, that's a beautiful answer. Shout out to Malcolm X.
Nipsey. I'm going with Nipsey. One is because Nipsey, like I just said, the same story. He had to come from a place where he ain't come from much. He had to start his own thing up from the bottom, and it took personal growth. It took him going through a lot of failures, a lot of time, getting everything right. A lot of things failed, of course. That's life. And he just kept on building and building himself. And then, of course, he got away. It's a point where Nipsey got to so big where labels started coming towards him before he even got big, you know, mainstream. People are asking you he's giving you this deal like that. But the only thing, you just got to give me your masters. Nipsey was like, no. I know how much I can be worth in the next couple of years.
Straight independently.
Straight independently. He said, no, I'm not going to sell my money, my masters, my whole music rights to you guys to distribute for monetary purposes when I can do the same thing myself.
That makes sense.
And that's something that I look out too, because he just decided to not say look out for a handout, but he decided to run everything up for himself. And then not only ran everything up for himself, he brought it right back to his community, same corner where he was standing at. And that's just something that I would, that just stands out to me, knowing that I'm trying to do the same thing with me personally. I'm come from much, I'm doing different type of battles with personal growth, mental growth, on a spiritual level growth too, and coming back and then trying to install that into other people's lives, because I want to be a person that can create opportunity no matter where. Like if you a homeless person dead broke, I want to see you rich in the next couple of years. So just like that, because I just want to help out anybody as much as possible. Because I had people that looked out for me and installed it into me. You know.
That's good. Okay, good answers. Appreciate your time.
No problem, man.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you.
As far as somebody mentoring me, I would definitely want somebody that's going to push me to do better for myself and better for my life. I don't per se have anything like anybody particular, you know. Like, let's, for instance, I'm not, like, for me, I'm not a very big person on like somebody like famous or anything. Oh yeah, I wish I'd be mentored by them or anything. For me, it's just more, it's more of the character behind the person. Like, for instance, I have another, and I'm gonna be straightforward and honest with you. I have another pastor that I'm friends with that lives here in the Houston area, and me and him kind of have this relationship now where I was like, he's kind of like a father figure, you know. Because I mean, to be honest, man, my dad he's been around, but he's just been like just there, you know. It hasn't been like a mentor, father, you know, so that. So what it was is I went towards another guy at another church, you know, because just the way he loves people and just the way he loves, that he just has that father figure role. And just that mentor, and I remember I didn't even get it. I didn't even have to have it.
I don't mean to cut you off, but let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So you said that your father he was there, but he wasn't really there.
Yeah, he was the type of guy that, you know.
So do you think that as kids, right?
Yeah.
You think that if they can't find a father figure in their real father, they're gonna find it from somebody else.
They're gonna find it from somebody else.
And that's what happened to you.
Well, and like I have a relationship with my dad, but it's more of like here's the thing. God has been redeeming my family. God's been redeeming my mom and my dad. You know, especially my dad. Like, I mean, I got to a place where my dad wouldn't even say I love you. You know, it was like, but the thing was, is I don't hold that against him. It's just something that he was never taught when he was younger.
Right.
You know,
that was gonna be my question. Why you think he never did that?
Yeah, I think honestly, like just him growing up too, his dad was never that type of person that showed him love.
Right.
Because I think we get in that place as far as like men go, us as men, and we as growing up, like, you know, there's been just this stereotype of men that men can't, you know, say that. You know, like for instance, like I can't say I get it because it's been stereotyped, but if I was to say it to another man, I love you, bro, or I love you, you know, it turns into to be like a gay thing or a homosexual thing, or you know, but the thing is, that's the thing that's been so like in this world has been so jacked up on those lines. It's like, you know, as far as like it goes, I think having a father does play a big role in our lives, and if we don't have that father that's in our lives, we will turn to something else. I mean, you will turn to somebody else that's gonna be there. Like, but for me and for my family, my instance, you know, my dad was there. It was just one of those things where, you know, and I know he probably does love us, but he just never said that. He never could express that because he was never taught how to express that. You know, but for him, it was more, you know, him just being there. Yeah, he provided. Like, he provided for my mom, my dad, and my family and stuff like that.
Anybody, dead or alive.
Jesus Christ.
It don't get no better than that.
I know that's right.
It don't get no better than that.
I know that's right.
Why you pick Jesus?
Because Jesus is loving and forgiving, man.
Loving and forgiving.
Yep.
And you speaking from experience?
Actually, I am.
Give me, what happened?
Y'all ain't gonna believe this, man, but I had a psychic tell me 2 different lives, 4 lives back.
What you mean?
4 lifetimes back. She told me what I did 4 lifetimes ago.
I'm confused.
So my past lives.
Right.
She went back 4 lifetimes on me. So one lifetime I was a high priest. In another lifetime, I was there watching Jesus get crucified on the cross. And I walked with Jesus, but I wasn't a 12th disciple.
Interesting. This is getting deep.
It is deep. It's real deep. It is real deep. And you know what's crazy is my whole life, man, I believed that I'm supposed to be an angel fighting.
An angel fighting for what?
Fighting for the right, for the good, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You the first person that told me Jesus Christ. Everyone else picked like Dwayne Wade. I've had different people. Michelle Obama. And you the first person.
Man,
that said Jesus.
That's the only idol I can look up to, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, everybody else is just as normal as I am.
That is true.
Ain't nobody here on this earth any better than anybody else, man.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. That's why I don't judge nobody either.
Right.
Because it ain't my place.
Right, it's not. It's definitely not.
You know? But that's why I believe in being honest with the kids, man. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome,
Appreciate that.
No problem. My name's Dale, by the way.
DK.
50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. Yeah.
Why him?
Because I want to get more into, I think that's a real successful dude, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even with working out, you know, he been fit with it. He's an old guy now, but even with working out, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you get mentored and, you know, when it comes to, your body, you know, discipline. I read his last book.
Right.
I forgot the name of it, but I did, and I was just blown away by it.
Was it Hustle Smarter, Hustle Harder?
I forget. I can probably look in my books and see.
Right.
But like, that man, 50 Cent, bro. I just like how, he started off as a rapper. Now he got one of the biggest TV shows, now, on TV right now. You know what I'm saying? And the consistency, it's real big being consistent. I feel like anybody can make money. And even when it comes to working out or dieting, but consistency, that's the real goal, bro. The real thing is consistency. I feel like you can do anything being consistent. That's one consistent dude.
It would be Maya Angelou or Cicely Tyson. And the reason? The peace that they had within. Seeing many things, but not ever letting them use them as an obstacle or a stumbling block. But more so, I love their calm, their spirit, and their peace. So I would have to pick Maya Angelou, definitely for her words. Cicely Tyson, definitely for her actions.
I never heard of Cicely Tyson before.
Sounder, very brown-skinned sister, very small in frame. Dynamic actor, dynamic. One thing that I think that we're missing, but now they're going through even the school books on what should be in the classroom and what shouldn't be, is if you don't know your history, you don't know who you are. And Cicely Tyson is someone you need to write down today.
I'm gonna go look her up.
Please.
I'm gonna look her up and see what she's about.
It was just something about their presence, even when they walked out. Life, we focus so much on getting things, material things, the flesh, lust, this, that, bags, the shoes, the car, the house, the clothes. But they had a inner peace that having all these things true, but they had to go through so many obstacles to get them. Right. But they had an inner peace that you can't buy. I often wondered, how could a rich person commit suicide? You can't buy peace. You can't buy joy. Right. And they had it. And so I would like to have that light.
Do you have peace and joy?
More so than I did when I was young. I know now what to focus on.
What changed?
Each day has a challenge. What changed? Realizing what's important.
So this is getting good. This is getting good. What was important to you when you was younger?
To get out of poverty, to get out the house, to find me, to make money. See, we weren't.
That's what was important to you when you was younger?
Yes.
And what's important now?
Getting an education, going to college, and just being my own self person. Now, how I value a person I meet, even a total stranger. I never took how I value any person I meet.
How you value any person you meet?
I never took that, walking in the store. Sometimes you'll have somebody hold the door or give you their basket, or just everyday occurrences. We take that for granted. I'm hyper. I was zoom. Let me see what I can get, how I can get it, how fast can I get it, when can I get it, why can't I get it? My own worst self-enemy. I would say to anybody now, slow down. Let him guide your path. Take a deep breath, and whatever is for you, nobody can take it.
Nobody can take it.
Nobody.
That's beautiful.
That's true. I mean, you got to look at LeBron. Everybody's talking about how he's over 19 years in the game. I can't give any stats or quotes, but he's maybe 19, but he's old.
Right.
But he's shooting 50-pointers because that's something that, now, I'm not going to have his personal trainer. I won't have his kitchen or his diet or his money or anything. But I believe that a lot of that comes from within. I look at a person who reached back And everybody that was in his path when he didn't have, he brought them right along with him. So I like the fact that I believe a part of his success on the court comes from his inner peace, comes from his light, comes from him knowing exactly what it is he's here for and what he's meant for. Kind of like Cicely Tyson and Maya Angelou. Maya knew she was good at words. You know, it says use what you have where you are.
Use what you have where you are.
What you already have everything you need. LeBron only had the basketball. Selena and what's her sister's name, the tennis stars, they only had the racket.
Venus and Serena?
Mm-hmm. They only had the racket. David and Goliath, he only had the slingshot. Samson only had a jawbone of a donkey. I found myself wanting everything else, but I already have what I need. So that'll give you a peace that you cannot, that surpasses any understanding. It's important to get 8 hours of sleep and be able to lay down and actually feel good about your day and what you did and how you do.
Yes, sir. Okay. You just spit some knowledge.
I'm a typical old lady.
I can't wait for my viewers to hear this. They're gonna be like, she is on point.
Well, what I love about, as I call you my millennium, my baby boomers, I've walked into some of you, like I went to the gym and she's 29. And so when she tells me she's 29 and I know I taught her in 7th or 8th grade, I'm like, and she says, she walks up to me and I was pulling the weights and I'm like, okay, you lost 15 of your pounds, I want it back. But she says, Miss, you're my 7th or 8th grade history teacher. And I said, you know, I couldn't say anything. I looked at her and I said, Clifton Middle School? She said, yes. I said, yeah. And she said, I'm trying to think of your name. She said, you're Mrs. I'm trying to think of yours. I said, McCain. She said, Jennifer. But make a long story short, she and I stood there and talked for a minute. But I had to ask Jennifer, how did she know it was me? Because, you know, they say we all look alike. I was just in the gym, and she said, because you haven't changed. Now, she doesn't know what that meant to me. But something told me to ask her back, because being a teacher, I'm used to talking. I'm used to giving the data. Now I'm learning that it's so much more beautiful to receive it. What I'm receiving from you all, I'm liking the, I don't have to go within these walls to be happy and to get my success.
Right.
But your foundation, your base has got to be. And they say we use it too much as a culture. But I've seen Jesus, I've seen God do some things I've seen him do things nobody else could have. And so when I would see my grandmother, I'm like, dang, we gotta go to church again. You know how you're a kid, you grovel, you complain all day long. Are you serious? My friends. I know why. And so what I'm meeting is a lot of millenniums that are talking about him and knowing him more than I ever thought about at their age. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you wouldn't know it because, you know, we usually judge a book by its cover.
Right.
We look at you, we say, okay, look at that person. They got this on, they got that on.
Right.
Just talk to them. So I guess what would be important is, like when you and I met today,
right.
You were important to me. That's why I said it's a beautiful day. It's value.
I love that.
You don't know who he uses. And when I say you don't know, there's angels that look all kind of ways, but you don't know who he uses. It might be something you tell me that I can use.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times we just think we need to tell, but nah.
Right.
I don't think age has a barrier. I think your heart is the barrier.
Your heart is the barrier.
The heart is the barrier.
You getting too deep for me.
No, that's how you see it. I'm telling you, I've had some young ones say some things to me that just really would amaze me. Like, does it matter? You know, I often ask my nephews, because nowadays they don't talk. It's more on the games or talking to their friends. And I'm like, well, Jordan, I need to check on you. I'm fine, Auntie.
Right.
But then if I sit in the car with him and maybe we go to Chick-fil-A or something, it never surprises me that he doesn't teach me something before I put him out the car. I didn't tell him that for a while, because I'm just looking at him now. He's got a tat here and a tat. I said, Jordan, please don't get any more. But see, That wasn't for me to tell him. That's his body. But he says, Auntie, these are the 7 stars of something. And when he got through explaining it to me, I'm talking about Maya Angelou and Cicely Tyson. I thought, my God, who would ever know that his tattoo had that much spirit in it? Each one of the things had something to do with like integrity, character. It was just beautiful. Right. And I was like, okay, that's what it means. But you know, in the meantime, I'm like, Jordan, why did you do that? Because I think he's so handsome, you know, and I didn't want no tats, especially where you couldn't see. I want them where you can't see them. But I can't tell him that. That's his body and this is his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
You answered that question beautifully.